People, welcome back to our channel and thank you so much for joining the channel today. If this is your first time here, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you turn on the notification bell because it means a lot to us. Thank you so much for understanding. Please, if you are new, my name is Milton, and today's video I want to talk to you about some things that you should do if you really want your study permit to be approved for you to study in Canada in 2024. There are certain things that you should always look up to when you want to apply for a Canada study permit or a visa. Now, I call it study permit, and remember, you are going to be applying for a visa, but what you are going to get when you arrive Canada is called study permit. Okay, so you are going to get a visa, which is the pass. Then when you reach Canada, you are going to get your permit. Okay, so there are three things I have always said on my YouTube channels that if you really want to succeed, you should do them correctly. One is your proof of funds, the second one is your home ties, and the third one is your letter of explanation. These things are very important when you are applying for a Canada visa, all right, because these are the things that the visa officer is going to take a look at. But today we are going to be talking about one of them, and the one I am talking about, we are going to look at some of the things that can improve your visa. Like I said, if you do this correctly, your visa is already approved 90% somehow. So one, we are going to talk about the home ties. Let's leave proof of funds for today. Let's leave letter of explanation for today. Let's talk about home ties. What are home ties? Home ties are things that will bring you back to your home country when you study a program in a foreign country, and Canada should be an example. Now, there are things you should mention. Like, the first thing you should know about home ties is the visa officer is interested to know that you are going to return to your home country. So if you do not give them the impression that, oh, I say them because you do not know who is going to be attending for your case or to your case, so they are interested to know. Now, the first thing you should do for your home ties is, when you write your letter of explanation, okay, somewhere below, always make sure you lay emphasis on the fact that you are going to return back to your home country. It is so critical and very good for you to mention this. You have to make them believe that you would always return to your home country. Now, you need to mention that. And remember, when you are telling them you will return to your home country, you need to also be telling them, why are you going to return? What will you return and do later on? Okay, returning is not just about returning. What will you return and do? You can tell them that maybe you have to return back to your family because you need to show them family love, and of course you need to be closer to them. Okay, why you also use the knowledge you gain in Canada to improve yourself, to maybe do some certain things to contribute to sustainable development. Okay, first step, mention this on your letter of explanation. The second thing you need to do when it comes to home ties, if you are applying for Canada study permit and you have a business, now this is the time for you to bring in your business documents, or what we call business registration number. And remember, I would emphasize on this again. If you have a business, make sure you pay the tax to that business. Make sure the business is up to date and everything tax is cleared. I'm saying this because someone reached out to me a few days back and said, Milton, I have a business, but I've not been paying my tax. You cannot be telling the Canada government that you have a business and you are not equally showing them your business registration documents. Now, what will prove that when you go to Canada, you are going to pay your taxes? Because as a foreigner, you need to pay your tax while you arrive in any new country. If you are not paying tax in your own home country, there is no evidence that you are going to pay tax in that country. And if the visa officer is wise and notice this is a very big issue for you. So please make sure your business documents and everything is complete. Now, let's take a look at the next thing you can show as home ties to the visa officer if you want your visa to be approved or guaranteed somehow, like 90%. We have something we call investment and properties. If you have investments back home, if you have investments in the bank, if you have properties all over your place or all over your village, or if you have maybe 1, 2, 3 properties, if you have investment, these are things to show evidence to that you own them, and equally explain to the visa officer that yes, you have this your investments, and you cannot just leave your investments like that and you go to Canada and never return. Okay, so you need to come back and manage your stuff. Remember, your business, you need to also make them understand that you are just going to study a 1 year or 2 years program or 3 years. After the 3 years is over, then you have to return to your home country because you want to manage your business, you want to improve your business, you want to change certain things about your business. And if this course is, maybe you just let them know that if they give you the offer, you are going to use the knowledge gained to also improve your business. And in this case, it will also make some sense if you apply to a program that is somehow related to that your business. Okay, we have talked about this many times and we are still going to be talking about it again. Then I want to talk to you about this other aspect, family. Okay, let's not talk about family for now. Let's talk about properties. I talk about investments and properties. Now let me elaborate on properties. Investments and properties are not the same. Properties are different. For example, do you own cars? Do you have taxis on the street? I'm not talking about KK because nobody know KK. Do you own cars? Do you have maybe a company? Are you into real estate? Okay, when I talk about properties, I'm talking about cars, I'm talking about real estate properties, I'm talking about houses. Do you have houses you give out to tenants? Are you, maybe you understand, you bring all of these things, you tell them that I have houses, this number of houses, and of course I am the one controlling them. When I go to Canada and study, I will have to return back so that I take control over my properties. You also made them understand that for now you are living there, the properties under this person. If you are married, you mention your wife, because of course if you are married you need to also attach your marriage certificate. Okay, it's very important. You tell them that it's so important. If you own cars, a construction company, yeah, heavy investments, you understand what I mean. So this is what you need to do. Now this is for properties. Let's go to family. Now when it comes to family, this is very important topic, or something very important we need to elaborate on. I will advise you that if you are married, if you have a girlfriend, you guys have a child, if you are not married yet, but if you have a child together, and please, you haven't done your marriage, or if you are not registered legally, and if you are not married, if you don't have any marriage certificate, I will advise you to go and sign it legally. Okay, get the marriage certificate. Then during this application you should attach this certificate to your application. It's so important. Now why are you attaching this certificate to your application? So that you can tell the visa officer that, okay, I have my wife back home, I have my children, I have my child. Okay, these people are so dear to me and I will be leaving them for a couple of months, or maybe 1 year to go study, or 2 years to go study this program, and quickly come back because I really want to reunite with them. I do not want to miss them so much. You understand? Because of course they need your care, they need your bond. You know how you are going to put all of these things. It's so important to explain this. And remember, you have to add your children's birth certificate, your wife's birth certificate, your own birth certificate, your marriage certificate as well. If you have parents, of course you talk about them, especially if they are old. You talk about your parents, that you are the one taking care of them. For now you are leaving them to your wife or maybe to your siblings to take care of them while you go and study the program. You get? Then if you have siblings, of course you talk to the visa officer that you are the one taking care of them, and without you around it is going to be difficult for them to cope. Then you mention their names. Of course there is a place you have to tell them, because they will always ask you, do you have siblings or not? So please put all of this into consideration. It's so important for you to actually scale through during this visa stage. Canada visa is getting very difficult now. For those of you who are to apply, Nova Scotia is giving like 12,900 visas this time, approximately. Okay, they might not give all, but approximately that is what they might be giving, because they already made mention of 12,900 provincial attestation letters, which means that they might be giving something closer to that. We do not know yet, but just make sure you put in a strong application. And again, remember that housing is very expensive now in Canada. Okay, if you are looking for maybe a studio, you have to budget like $1,000 Canadian dollars here. If you are looking for a 2+1 apartment, you have to budget around 1,617. It's depending, but the minimum is 1,500. I mean 2+1 apartment. If you want to share something with people, you may be looking at 700, 800, depending on the location as well. So my advice to you is plan well before you move to this country, because it is not that easy again. And before you go, make sure you have some skills that you can maybe sell out there, teach some people and get some cash. Do not rely only on the 20 hours per week you are going to be given. It's so important for you to note this. If you do not have money on you, do not go to Canada. I am insisting and I'm just advising. Please, if you do not have your tuition fee for at least one semester, which is 4 months, or at least 1 year, and your program is 2 to 3 years, you are in serious problems going to Canada. Go for what you can afford. Okay, Canada is good country. There are other good countries over there. Europe is also very good. So go to where you know you can afford. This is my advice for you now, because the way Canada is, it's not the way we see it on the internet. Until you are in, then you are going to understand. I hope this video helps you. Please make sure you share and like so that somebody else can benefit from it. Till we meet again in another one. Bye.